I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you for joining me on your daily video news and commentary blog today, Monday, April 12, 2010. Beginning with your headlines, news from the White House, the President and his nuclear summit. Also today, news looking at the priesthood from Connecticut. Oh my goodness is all I can say. What nerve? We'll tell you what's going on there. Back into the Confederacy mess in Virginia as it has spread to Mississippi. We'll tell you what's going on there. Then we'll take a look at that Republican leadership conference over the weekend. We'll tell you what happened there. Sarah Palin, of course, you know, was one of the keynote speakers. That probably tells you all you need to know. Also today, we have news for you, damage control for the GOP with Michael Steele. And then finally today, this Pennsylvania dad, well, he's behind bars and he should be. We'll tell you about it right after this.
In America, 500,000 businesses are started each year. What does it take to launch a successful company? Discover the answers as entrepreneur Michael Vedini interviews the area's premier business leaders.
There's no better time right now for anyone to start a business.
Success is opportunity, timing, luck.
I knew that it was going to take a lot of hard work.
It's all about leadership. That's where it starts.
Join us for American Entrepreneur.
I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you for joining me on your daily video news and commentary blog. We're going to begin with some news from the nation's capital where President Obama's Nuclear Security Summit does begin. It is the largest gathering you should know of world leaders hosted by a U.S. president since the 1945 conference that founded the United Nations. It is a two-day gathering of representatives from 47 countries. We'll keep you posted on that. Let's turn now to some state news. We're going to Connecticut, taking a look at the priesthood, where a move to try and stop a bill in Connecticut that gives sexual abuse victims 30 years past their 18th birthday to file a lawsuit. That move is underway. The priests want the law changed. They want the statute of limitations rescinded. No, you can't just do what you want to do and have absolutely no repercussions. Connecticut's 3 Roman Catholic bishops say the proposed change in the law would put all church institutions, including all local parishes, at risk. Under the bill's provisions, anyone older than 48 who makes a sex abuse claim against the church would need to join an existing claim filed by someone 48 or younger. That's the change they want. Older claimants would need to show substantial proof that they were molested. Priests just don't quit. You see, you have to understand that there has to be some accountability here. Back into this Confederacy mess from Virginia. Oh, how the nation ought to remember slavery. Now, this is the whole question about this Confederacy thing, is how should America remember the institution of slavery? Mississippi's Haley Barbour is now defending Virginia's governor. You know, he left slavery off the proclamation proclaiming a Confederate History Month. Barbour says Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell did not make a mistake in omitting any mention of slavery from a recent proclamation declaring April Confederate History Month. Most people think McDonnell's omission was insensitive, but not Barbour. Here's what he says. He says, quote, "To me, it's a sort of feeling that it's a nit, that it's not significant, that it's not, it's trying to make a big deal out of something that doesn't amount to diddly." Folks, did you know that slavery didn't amount to diddly? Tell that to all the people who were enslaved and the legacy of slavery that is still apparent in this country today. If Haley Barbour thinks it was such a not a big deal, then he should volunteer all of his family members to work for free. Let's just start there. To build the country for free and get nothing for it, don't get educated. And until he's willing to line up his family members for that, then his talk is nothing but talk. And as we all know, talk is cheap. Let's go to the Republican Leadership Conference. It was over the weekend. You know, the one where Sarah Palin was the keynote speaker? Enough said. Turns out that former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney was the big winner there. Romney defeating Texas Representative Ron Paul by a single vote in the Southern Republican Leadership Conference's 2012 straw poll. So we know who they like. That's interesting. And the Republicans, well, we should tell you this. So first of all, we're going to go back to that leadership conference and tell you about Michael Steele. He's having to kind of stand down, damage control for the GOP national chairman, trying to put a damper on the furor over his management of the Republican National Committee. Steele acknowledging that he had made quite a few errors. He made his speech to the Southern Republican Leadership Conference, his first public appearance since the disclosure of questionable spending. That included, of course, that $2,000 tab at that sex-themed California nightclub. Of course, that was the item that caused several advisors to cut ties with him and North Carolina's state party chief to call for his resignation. He's apologized. So nice to know that he can do that. Let's go back and give you a little bit more news on the Republicans. How did a 25-year-old junior Republican staffer with the Florida Republican Party, how did she get an American Express card? And we're talking not just any American Express card, but one that over the next 2.5 years on that card, she would charge nearly $1.3 million on. She's 25. That's right. Her name is Melanie Pfister. Authorities say she charged $40,000 at a London hotel, $20,000 in plane tickets for indicted former House Speaker Ray Sansom and his wife and kids. They say she spent thousands on jewelry, sporting goods, and in one case, $15,000 for what's listed as a month-long stay at a posh Miami Beach hotel. For her part, here's what Melanie says, quote, "I did not have the sole discretion to initiate credit card spending," unquote. So we don't know who charged up all those bills. Over that period of time, there were multiple instances when the card was used to make purchases that I had no knowledge of, says Melanie, and I did not regularly review the monthly credit card statements, which I understand were sent directly to the party's accounting office. Pfister served as finance director. I want to tell you again that she's 25. Finance director for State House campaigns for 2.5 years, starting in mid-2006. Now she's 25 years old. She was the finance director. They gave her an Amex card. She charged $1.3 million on it, and now they're going to hang her out to dry. Well, we all know how that movie should end. Also, let's give you some more news. We're going to give you a story from Pennsylvania about this crazy dad. This dad is behind bars facing drug charges after he allegedly put several ounces of suspected marijuana into his child's Elmo backpack. Thanks, Dan. The child went to school. Dad then called to see if his son had arrived, saying he needed to get something out of his backpack. That's when the school authorities went and got the backpack and, of course, promptly went through it, and that's when they found the drugs, and that's when Dad arrived, and that's when the police arrived, and that is when Dad got arrested. Those are your stories. Thanks for joining me. I'm Carol Angela Davis. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, new stories. See you then.